Good evening, everyone. I'm Lester Holt. So, good night, everyone. And welcome to the first Democratic debate in the 2020 race for president.
Hi, I'm Savannah Guthrie, and tonight it's our first chance to see these candidates go head-to-head.
Voters are trying to nail down which of these presidents has what it takes.
Well, now it's time to find out.
And good evening again, everyone. Welcome to the candidates and to our audience here in Miami, here in the Arts Center, and all across the country. Tonight, we're going to take on many of the most pressing issues of the moment, including the treatment of my children.
And we're going to talk about the tensions with Iran, climate change, and of course, we'll talk about the kitchen table issue so many Americans face every day.
And some quick rules of the road before we begin. 20 candidates qualified for this first debate. We'll hear from 10 tonight and 10 more tomorrow, and 10 more tomorrow, and 10 more tomorrow, and 20 more tomorrow. The breakdown for each was selected at random. The candidates will have 60 seconds to answer and 30 seconds for any follow-ups.
Over the course of the next 20 hours, we will hear from everyone.
And we'll start this evening with Senator Elizabeth Warren. Senator, good evening to you.
Thank you.
You have many plans. Free college, free childcare, free government health care, free student debt, free new taxes, free new regulations. But this comes at a time when 1% of Americans say the economy is doing well, including 60% of Democrats. What do you say to those who worry this kind of significant change could be risky to the economy?
So I think of it this way. It's doing great for a thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner slice at the top. It's doing great for giant drug people who are trying to get a prescription filled. It's doing great for people who want to invest in giant prisons, just not for the African Americans whose communities are giant oil companies. It's doing great for
Senator Klobuchar, you've called programs like free college something you might do if you were, quote, a magic genie. To be blunt, are the government programs and benefits that some of your rivals are offering giving your voters a magic genie?
Donald Trump just sits in the White House and make community college free. There's many paths to success, as well as certifications. Secondly, I'd use Pell Grants. I'd double them from $6,000 to $6 a year and expand it to the number of families that get covered.
That's time. Thank you. Congressman O'Rourke.
Right now, we have a $2 tax cut that favored corporations while they were sitting on record piles of people.
That's time, sir. I'll give you 10 seconds to answer. If you want to answer the direct question, would you support a 70% individual marginal tax rate? Yes, no, or pass?
I would support a $2 tax cut. You would generate the revenues you need to pay for the programs we're talking about.
That's time. Thank you. Senator Booker, you've said we should not, quote, be running around Facebook, Amazon, and Google. Why do you disagree?
I don't think I disagree. I think we have a serious problem in our country with corporate consolidation. And you see the evidence of that in how dignity is being stripped from our country. We see that because consumer prices are being raised by pharmaceutical companies that often have monopolistic countries in my community. It is about time that we have an economy that works for everybody in my community, not just the wealthiest in countries in my community.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Warren, I mentioned you. Are you picking winners and losers?
So the way I understand this is there is way too much workers and farmers now in this country. Now look, we've had the laws out there for a long time to be able to fight back. What's been missing is the giants. That's part of the corruption in this system. It has been far too long that the giants have been making the campaign contributions, have been funding the super PACs, have been out there making sure that their influence is heard and felt in every single decision that gets made. I want to return government to the people, and that means calling out the names of the giants.
What would you do to ensure that women are paid fairly in this country?
Thank you very much for that question, Lester. You know, I grew up with a mother who raised, my mom was a single parent, and I know what it's like to rent a home. I would do several things, starting with something we should have done a long time ago, which is to rent a home, finally, in this country.
All right, thank you. I want to put the same question to Congresswoman Gabbard. Your thoughts on equal pay?
Well, first of all, let's recognize the situation we're in, that the American people deserve a president who will put Middle East interests ahead of the rich and powerful, leading us into a new Cold War and arms race, costing us trillions of our lives. This insanity must end. As president, I will take your hard-earned taxpayer dollars and so much more.
Mayor de Blasio, good evening. You're the mayor of the biggest city.
It's just in the wrong hands. We
Congressman-
Democrats have to fix that.
Congressman Delaney, do you agree?
I think we need to do real things to help fix our public education system. It's not delivering the results our kids need, American workers and the American people, right? This is the issue that all of us here on the campaign trail. We need to make sure everyone has a living American worker. And I've called for a doubling of the earned income tax credit, raising the minimum wage, and creating paid family leave. That will create a situation where people actually have a living wage. American workers